Hi, I'm Alicia Dietrich, and I work in the Dean's Office in the College of Fine Arts. And I'm so excited because I'm here today with Professor Rusty Cloyes in the Department of Theater and Dance. And I'm so excited to get to introduce him to you, especially our new students in the Department of Theater and Dance. Welcome, Rusty.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you reaching out and letting me talk to everybody.
We're so glad you're here. Can you tell us about what you'll be teaching in the fall or how students might interact with you in the department?
So I head up the BA degree. So that means I supervise all of our BA students. So that's one part. So I'll be meeting and greeting that first week with students. But the classes that I primarily teach are an Intro to Tech Theater class, which is an overview for all of our incoming students, or the majority of them, I should say. Just about that, it's a class that kind of lays a foundation for producing work, and we try to really encourage theater makers and performance makers in our department, and so it gives them some tools to do their own work, which is something that we champion. So I've got that Intro to Tech Theater. So it's a large class. I use a number of graduate students to help assist and interact with the students. I'll teach my stage management class, which is kind of my primary area of focus. So I supervise all the stage managers, and this is for all the incoming stage managers. We've got about 8-ish or so this year, which is exciting. But then also some theater educators take the class, and then other people that are interested. So it's a range. It's really nice. I usually have about 15 to 20 students in there. So that's a great class, and they get to meet with some of the faculty that we have, the directing faculty and design faculty come in and talk to those students. And then I lead a 324P, which is an advanced production laboratory class that is an advanced leadership role for Bachelor of Arts students in the production areas. So sometimes it's assistant designers, sometimes it's assistant directors, sometimes it's dramaturgs, community engagement people. So all of those positions, I make sure I advise them and kind of guide them through that process. So as you can tell, I'm kind of a production-focused faculty member. And then the last part that is certainly significant is I'm one of the faculty co-producers of the Cohen New Works Festival, which is a biennial festival that we do that's completely student-run, student-produced. It's all student work. And we do it every 2 years, and it roughly is about 30 to 40 projects that the department and the college supports. This particular year, we're expanding it to the entire college. We've been talking with School of Music and Design and AET and Art History, and so we're really excited to expand that across the college. But that's another area that students will interact with me. So that's me in a nutshell this fall.
I mean, it sounds like you cross paths with just about every student in the department at some point in their 4 years at UT.
I would agree. All of the undergraduate students and a lot of the graduate students, because I'm involved with production, I sit in rehearsals with them. I sit in tech rehearsals with them. I end up talking to them. I get to know all the different people. In those first year, I teach not only the Intro to Tech Theater class, but sometimes I co-teach the Performance as Collaborative Practice class, which is another all of our BA students take. I do that in the spring. So yes, so I interact with almost all of the undergraduate students, which is great. Super, super rewarding. That's certainly one of the best parts of my job.
So your background is in production management, and as I was reading your bio, it was clear that you've worn just about every hat possible backstage. Tell us why you're passionate about production management.
Sure, you're absolutely right. I have kind of bounced from all of the different production positions, which gives me a really strong understanding when I'm talking to the different production members as a production manager. In theater, I think, or in performance, I'm a problem solver. That's one of the reasons that I like being a production manager. And I think that all of us in the performing arts, in some way, are problem solvers. I think writers and choreographers figuring things out. I think actors are there trying to figure out what their challenge is and how to overcome it. And as a production manager, I just love to support all of the different creative people and figure out the best way to put it together and support them. So I like to support people. The projects get me excited, and then figuring out the best way to make that happen is just fun to me.
So you recently received the Department of Theater and Dance Teaching Excellence Award for 2019-2020. What's the most rewarding part of teaching for you?
I've been here for a little while now, and I've been able to teach in a few different areas, but the most rewarding part is connecting with the students. No doubt about it, right? The students are the best part of the job. I love working with the undergraduate students. For a few years, I got to focus on the graduate students, and that's a different level of interaction and is rewarding. But the undergraduate students, seeing them grow in confidence, find their peers and their path and where they're going is huge. So that's the biggest part, like developing those relationships with the students. It's been proven that if a student has a relationship with a faculty member, they have a much more successful academic career. And in theater and dance, we really get to do that. And I think that is huge for students, especially at a university as large as the University of Texas. We really connect, and that means a lot to me. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the teaching award. It's clear that you're really passionate about your students.
Thank you.
So as we've all been mostly quarantined during this pandemic, how are you finding ways to stay creative? What's inspiring you creatively right now?
It's a good question, right? It's a challenging time. I have a family, and that's one of the areas that keeps me creative. I have a 5-year-old son, and every morning we go through some sort of new make-believe, and we tell stories and we figure things out, and so that's one aspect that really keeps me creative, right? I have to keep up with him and his mind and how it's going off in all sorts of different wonderful directions, right? So he's a big inspiration. Also, my hobby is I restore and customize classic motorcycles. So a little bit outside of the theater realm, but it really gives my mind and my hands something to do, and it really fills my creative soul to create something that is different than what it was originally designed for, or it's either more, or it turns out into some sort of beautiful way, right? So yes, it's a mechanical component, but to me, that can be very beautiful and powerful as well. So yeah, outside the performing arts, but something that feeds me.
What's something about you that would surprise your students or colleagues?
So a lot of us in theater and in production maybe started out as actors. So that's not too surprising. What may surprise some of my colleagues and some of my students is that I used to dance ballet in high school and in college, and love it, and have always loved it. And I wish I'd gotten into it sooner. It just wasn't part of my family upbringing. But I think if I was to do it all over again, I would want to pursue dance. So that's not kind of what you might think if you met me or talked to me, but that might be something that would surprise people, that yeah, I used to dance.
I love that. The road not taken is so closely tied to what you do now, even so.
Yeah.
What would you like to tell the 20-year-old version of yourself?
I have to say that I think our students are outstanding at UT, and they come in they're strong. If I was to go back to talk to my 20-year-old, it would be to reach out on a national level and make relationships with professionals within the institution, within whatever career. That makes a big difference on your stepping out of college, right? So that first step, if you've got a relationship with some professionals, that can make a big difference. And I think that is a support step that can make a difference in a career. So that, I think, is the most that's what I would tell myself. I did it a little bit, did summer stock and things like that in college, but developing those relationships is pretty significant.
Yeah, the arts world is so small. I mean, relationships are everything in this business.
And not to be afraid of that word networking. It's not about networking, it's about creating relationships, and just focus on creating that one-on-one relationship.
Yeah, that's really solid advice. Thank you so much for talking with us today, Professor Cloyes. I'm really grateful for your sage wisdom and your stories. I really enjoyed getting to learn more about you, and I know our students are looking forward to seeing you again in the fall when everyone comes back to class. So thank you, and bye.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.